Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to tonight's conference call. My name is Daniel Sistrom, and I want to say that it is a privilege and an honor to have the opportunity to address you this evening and present a gentleman that's going to share some phenomenal information about an industry using a word that may be new to you. We are going to share some details about cryptocurrency. That's right, cryptocurrency. If you've joined us for the very first time, please take a moment, write it down. Another word you may hear about this evening is a word called blockchain. Take a moment and write that down. So, as we get started this evening, I am privileged to share with you a gentleman that has had decades of experience in the world of sales and marketing. Every company he's had an opportunity to work with, he has risen to the very, very top. In addition to having a phenomenal career in the direct sales marketplace, this gentleman is a first-class musician. I mean, he has played with some of the best in the world of entertainment around the globe. So, without further ado, let me introduce the song and present to others our speaker for this evening, Mr. Bob Tomlyn. Bo, are you there?
Yes. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Daniel. And good evening, everyone across the country and those who are calling in from other countries. This is a fascinating day, fascinating time. My gosh, the energy going on across this country. Fascinating concept of decisions that can change our lives. And this evening, the information that you're about to hear, this could be information that could change your life. I know that myself, Daniel, and others who are aware will tell you without question, this has definitely changed our lives already. And just the awareness of the knowledge, knowing this information is enough to go, aha, just because being an expert is somebody who just knows a little bit more about something than others who are oblivious. And there's a lot of people who are oblivious of this information. Over the past 34 years, I've heard people call me up and they call about some new opportunity, and they're all excited and hyped up, and almost every time they call me, they say, it was the greatest opportunity ever. I mean, oh my gosh, you got to jump in now. This is the greatest opportunity. Well, over the years, honestly, I have avoided saying that. Just completely avoided saying that. It's just, to me, and I'm sure to you, you can relate that the hype and the sales pitch and whatnot just turns people off. But tonight I'm going to say those words that I believe that this, yes, is the greatest opportunity that I have seen in over 3 decades of success. However, I'm going to back that statement with some facts. You see, to make a statement without facts to back it up is almost like there's no foundation to your statement. When people say, oh, I took this product and I've never felt so good, well, really, how can we actually tell? I mean, unless we run some tests about how good you're feeling. So let me give you a couple of facts of why I personally believe this is the greatest opportunity that I have seen, and I have a feeling that if Daniel were to chime in here, he would agree as well. Number one.
Yes, I would.
Ta-da! There we go. Everyone wins. This is an opportunity where everyone wins. Now, that in itself to me warrants taking a look at something where everyone wins, because I got to tell you, yes, I've been phenomenally successful. I've risen to the top. I've been part of the 1%, and even in many cases less than the 1%, making the big checks. That's great for me, but statistics of the home-based industry are dismal. 70-plus years of statistics tells that 98% make $100 or less per month. And within 6 to 12 months, they get frustrated and walk away. Well, imagine if you finally had an opportunity where someone that you open the door, someone who you introduce to the opportunity, can become phenomenally successful even a millionaire, maybe even a multimillionaire, without ever enrolling anyone or building a team. Now that is going somewhere, okay? Because in the home-based industry, boy, if you don't go out there and talk it up and build a team and maybe go to a show and set up booths and try to get customers, and it's a lot of work for not a lot of money, unless you're one of those lucky people who just happens to know some great hardworking people and they know some great, and all of a sudden it replicates and you end up with a team. I'm talking about people who are incapable, which is the majority. The majority of people just can't sell snow to the Eskimos. It just doesn't work. So that's number one. Number two, over the past 5 years, the product itself that Daniel mentioned, cryptocurrency, has already created thousands of multimillionaires and even some billionaires. That's already happened in the past 5 years. So we know there's an established track record. Multi-million, and yes, there are billionaires that have been created in the past 5 years. Number three, there's no sign-up fees, no kits to buy, no monthly or yearly, no annual charges or costs. There's no auto ship or other requirements that can impede our long-distance terms and goals. Number four, simple yet powerful compensation plan where we receive 10% on the dollar through unlimited depth of referrals. So again, 10% on the dollar. We don't have any of that CBP, PVQ, VGD, and any of that kind of craziness that just drives people crazy, confuses the heck out of most people. No, we're talking about on the dollar through unlimited depth. Number five, an opportunity that we can share finally with friends, family, and associates, and never once talk about referrals or compensation plan. You see, 3% of America is involved with the home-based industry. That means that 97% are not. I'm talking about an opportunity that we can talk to the 97% in addition to the 3% of the people who maybe that we know who are looking or have been involved with and are not afraid to get involved with the home-based industry business. So that means 100% of the people that we talk to, we can open the door and never say a word about, oh, by the way, if you refer somebody, you're going to get 10% referral or whatever they do. And last, we've all heard about being in the right place at the right time. Well, the door has opened to a massive transition taking place in the largest industry in the world. That's really what we're talking about here. An industry that is already doing between $3 to $4 trillion, not annually, daily, $3 or $4 trillion per day. That's trillion daily. And the masses, the majority of people out there have absolutely no idea the transition is taking place, much less that what we're about to talk to even exists. Got the picture? Now, if we could stop right there and say, okay, great, this is unbelievable. What I just said was all for real, and it is. I'm in. So now let's look at the nuts and bolts here. And I'm going to start with a really simple question that a good friend and very successful businessman asked me a little over 3 months ago. He called me and said, hey, what do you know about digital currencies? And I said, digital currencies, you mean like Bitcoin? He said, yeah. He said, well, I know a little bit about it. It's been a roller coaster ride, up, down. I've heard that lots of people lost their shirts and blah, 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 blah. But, that was my knowledge. I didn't do enough to be dangerous. And so he sent me to a website and some links, and I started to study, and all of a sudden opened my eyes. But he also made this statement, and this, without question, caught my attention. Because we, Americans, have been ignoring this for a long, long time, ignoring it. Imagine that you and I are good friends. Maybe neighbors, brothers, sister, we're really good friends. And you and I 5 years ago purchased $100 worth of Bitcoin, a digital currency called Bitcoin. $100 5 years ago. Today, our $100 purchase is now worth over $700,000. $100 in 5 years to over $700,000. Let's move the decimal. What if we were a little bit more visionaries and entrepreneurs? And 5 years ago, we purchased $1,000. Well, let's move the decimal. Today, that $1,000 would now be worth $7.2 million in 5 years. Yeah, I missed that opportunity, but I'm not going to miss it again. And history is about to repeat itself. It's about to repeat itself. Now, let me tell you a little bit about why all of this came together. And let's talk about the history of how this happened, because over the past several decades, people have become more and more frustrated with the global banking industry for numerous reasons. Numerous reasons. High fees, regulations, banking regions. I mean, if you travel the world and you're in an area where you don't have your local mom and pop bank, then you're out of luck. I mean, if you need money, you're in trouble. How about accounts being hacked in the last few years, where all of a sudden millions of people had their bank accounts hacked, or credit cards stolen, and we had to go through that rigmarole? Or how about Big Brother? You send me $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I have a friend who raises horses, and she sold a horse for $20,000, and all of a sudden she got these phone calls. Where did this money come from? I sold a horse. You know, it's her business. Why is it that people have got to put their nose into our banking business? And I don't know if you've experienced this, but lately, when I go to put cash into my account, they got to see my driver's license. Wait a second. I'm putting cash in my account. I've already swiped my card, put in my PIN, identified myself. They know it's me. I come in there. They recognize me. They're going to give them my driver's license. You know? Well, let me give you something that I think hits the nail right on the head. Because you are a good friend of mine, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. It could be out in the middle, somewhere in America, or maybe on the other side of the planet. And all of a sudden you reach out and say, hey, I'm in trouble. My car broke down. I lost my wallet, lost my purse. I'm in trouble here. I need some money to be able to fix the car and get down the road. I can't help you. Even if I wanted to help you, I can't help you right now. Why is that? Banking hours. The banks are closed. And even if tomorrow morning I went to the bank and I tried to do a wire transfer to get to you tomorrow morning, you need it tonight, but I can't do it until tomorrow morning. That wire transfer might not get to you until a day or two from today. And depending upon where we are on the planet, I'm here in America, and you're maybe in Japan or South Korea or China, it can take up to 3 weeks to get funds to the other side of the planet through the hoops and the regulations and then the high fees and whatnot. See, all of this is an outdated, antiquated system that people are growing more and more frustrated with and moving. They are moving over to this new digital currency. That's what's been happening. So, this concept of digital currency and the fact that I missed it, and there's a good chance that you missed buying Bitcoin when it was pennies on the dollar, is now presenting itself one more time. You see, there's a currency that was born 8 months ago called YOcoin, YOcoin. It was born in India, and the marketing division is in Dallas, Texas. You can go to the website, GOYOCOIN.net, GoYocoin.net. There's videos on there that you can study and get additional information. And we want you to be informed. We want to make sure that you really, really understand the power of what's going on here. And Daniel mentioned something called the blockchain. There's another website for you, blockchain.info, blockchain.info. You can literally see 24/7 what is going on around the world every second of people sending and receiving, transferring funds using digital currency. And for those who think that maybe this is a fad that's going to go away, don't tell that to China. China is moving $600 million daily. $600 million daily, not dollars. I shouldn't just say dollars. $600 million daily through digital currency exchanges. And I'm going to come back to China in a few minutes because that is extremely important to why we are here tonight and what is about to happen with this currency called YOcoin. So YOcoin right now, as of a few minutes ago, because I always like to check just before the call, is sitting at around 5 cents. It was actually 4.89, so just less than 5 cents. Remember, I gave you the example of $100 5 years ago at 10 cents with Bitcoin turning into 700,000 and 1,000 turning into 7.2 million because we purchased it at 10 cents. This currency, YOcoin, is sitting at 5 cents. And let me talk to you about ratios because this is really, really important to understand. I'm looking for a way to take my money because I've worked hard for my money. I'm looking for a way to take my money and double it. That's my goal. How can I double it? You know, we're out there, we're buying houses to flip to try to double our money or precious metals and stone. This is for investors, people, we're looking to double our money. Well, if I did it through Bitcoin, I purchased Bitcoin at $725. Let's make it $700 per Bitcoin. I'm going to roll it down a little bit from its current value. What would it take to double our money with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin would have to go to 1,400. Real simple math. 7 times 2, 14. So 700 would have to go to $1,400 to double our money. And then if we really were aggressive, we wanted to double it again, what? $2,800. Simple math. The feasibility of that happening quickly is probably not good. Yes, Bitcoin continues to grow. 21 months ago, it was $204, and here we are at $725. So yes, it continues to grow. But for it to go from 700 to 1,400 to 2,800, not likely going to happen very, very quickly in the near future. Probably not. Now let's look at YOcoin. 5 cents. We purchased $100 worth of YOcoin for 5 cents. That's 100 divided by 5. That's 2,000 coins. So we would now have 2,000 coins. For it to double, it would have to go to what? 10 cents. You'd think that it's easier for this to move from 5 cents to 10 cents than Bitcoin to move from 700 to 1,400? You bet. And for it to double again, it's got to go to 20 cents. Well, that probably is also much easier than Bitcoin going to $2,800. You bet. You bet. So ratios, for me, another extremely important reason for why we are here tonight, why we're talking about this, to open the door for you to take a look and say, okay. Now, why else might we be focused on this particular currency? Because there are over 700 digital currencies out there. Yes, over 700. Why are we focused on this one? Well, the vision of the team behind this is to become the digital currency for the masses. That's their goal. And so there's a number of factors in place. Number one, the speed of money. The speed of money. I told you if I were to try to send funds around the planet, let's see, you're in China right now, it could take up to 3 weeks. Well, that's not going to work very well. If I'm standing in a store, I'm trying to buy groceries or a gift, and I swipe my card, the cashier is waiting for one word on their screen, approved. That's all they're waiting for, and 20, 30, 40 minutes is not going to work. That won't work. With YOcoin, I swipe my card in 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds or less. We can transfer funds anywhere around the world in 30 seconds or less. That's because they studied, the team behind this, they studied Bitcoin, they studied the other currencies, they studied the challenges going on, and they put all of that into the vision of how is it that we are going to become the goal of the digital currency for the masses, the speed of money. That's so important. And notice I said swipe my card. Well, that's another thing that we are heading towards. The aspect of having a debit card, a Visa or MasterCard connected to our digital currency account. And what happens then? The word acceptance. 1 year ago, digital currency was accepted by 100,000 businesses around the world. Some major businesses such as Dell Computers, DirecTV, Microsoft. This year, that 100,000 has now grown to over 700,000 businesses that accept Bitcoin. What happens when all of a sudden we have a plastic card, a debit card connected to this digital currency account? We swipe our card, they see the word approved, and we leave with our groceries or our gift or whatever we want to buy. They don't know if we've got dollars or Canadian or euros or YOcoin behind the card. All they want to know is that it was approved. This is going to open the door to acceptance to millions of businesses around the world, mom and pop shops out on Main Street, USA. you see, this is why we are focused on YOcoin, because we know the vision of what's happening here, where they are going. So let me look at a couple of things here for you to move into the second phase here, because yes, we do have an affiliate program connected to this opportunity. And the compensation plan is extremely simple. We receive 10% on the dollar through unlimited depth. Unlike the home-based industry that the companies I've been working with, where we get paid down to 7 or 8 or maybe 9 levels, this is unlimited depth. And it's 10% on the dollar. No commissionable volume. Those that have been around this rodeo a few times know what I'm talking about. That John is on auto ship of $100 for some skincare or nutritional or jungle juice or whatever, plus shipping and tax and handling. John's paying $112, $115 a month, and I'm told by the compensation plan that I get 5% on the first level. Well, do I get 5% on that $100 of auto ship? No. I get paid 5% on the commissionable volume, the CV. And let's say that CV is $50. So I'm getting 5% on 50, not 100. Isn't it time that the home-based industry starts to come forward with the truth that it's not 5%? Those companies that are doing that should really tell us we're getting 2.5. We're getting 2.5% on the 100. Now we're being truthful. But here with YOcoin, we get 10% on the 100. Or the 200, or the 500, or the 1,000, or whatever it is that they purchase today and into the future. Let's say John purchases $100 today. He says, oh, this is great. I want to purchase, gets $100, and all of a sudden he starts thinking about it. He starts doing more due diligence. I've made $10 thus far, but John in a few days says, you know what, and decides to buy an extra 500, or extra 1,000, or extra 2,000. I get 10%. 10%. And by the way, there's also an incentive here, an incentive that is amazing, absolutely amazing. We have an incentive for people who purchase 500. There's a 5% incentive. If they purchase 1,000, there's 10% additional. So that would be 1,100 in dollar purchase of YOcoin. If they purchase $2,000, that's 12%. 5,000, 15%. So a $5,000 purchase would really be $5,750. 10%, it goes up to 25%. So 10% would be $12,500. And let me stop right there, because it goes up beyond that, even to $25,000, $50,000. We have people who have purchased over $100,000, over $200,000 worth because they get what's going on here, and so they have come in full speed ahead. And even that is about to change as well. But let's come back to that $10,000. I get a 25% incentive. So I personally take $10,000 out of my bank and I purchase this digital currency at 5 cents. I'm going to pick up an additional $2,500 because of the incentive. Well, that's today. That's today, okay? What happens down the road when all of a sudden this is 10 cents instead of 5 cents? Or maybe it's 50 cents, or it increases in value to $1, okay? Well, what happens with that? I purchased 10,000. I'm going to separate that out to the extra 2,500. 2,500 divided by 5 is an extra 50,000 YOcoins. That's a nice incentive. If it goes to $1, guess what just happened? That extra 25% was not $2,500 as an incentive for me to say thank you. Now all of a sudden it's $50,000. 50,000 coins times $1. Real simple math. So now let's go back and say, oh, well, that 12,500, we got 250,000 YOcoins times $1, or 12,500 if this raised to $1 would now be worth $250,000. Starting to get the picture here, the concept. Let's look at some basic math. Let's look at that $100 concept, because we've got lots of people out there who are just living on fumes. They don't even have $100 to their name, much less $700 to buy Bitcoin. I've got people who are doing garage sales, put a little money in their pocket, a few $100, and all of a sudden they say, okay, great, and they buy $100, $200, $300 worth of YOcoin. They have now opened the door to change their lives. Remember I told you at the very beginning, this is an opportunity where everyone wins. They can't build a team. They're not good at that networking concept. But if they bought $100 and this went to $1, that 2,000 coins is now worth what? Very simple, $2,000. They barely had 100, but now all of a sudden they have $2,000 in value. If it went to $5, they've got 10,000. If it goes to $10, 20,000. It goes to $100, $200,000. Somebody who could barely come to the table with $100 to purchase this digital currency while it's sitting at 5 cents is now got $200,000 in valuation. Could it go to 200, 300, 400, 500, 700 like Bitcoin is today? And why? Why is it possible that this would grow maybe even faster than Bitcoin did? Well, first off, we are extremely thankful for Bitcoin to open the door, to break the glass, to literally prove the concept. Because you see, when something is new, it goes through those 3 phases. First, it is ridiculed. And then secondly, people throw stuff at it. It's like, oh my gosh, that's impossible. That will never happen. And finally, it's accepted as truth. That's the 3 phases. That's the 3 phases. Back in 2006, if I had told you that I believe that somewhere in the future, there's going to be a little tiny device. We'll hold it in our hand. It'll be our phone. We can take it with us anywhere. It'll have all of our contacts. Our entire phone database will be in this device. It'll have maps. We'll be able to talk to it and say, hey, I want to get to Smithtown. And all of a sudden it'll say, hey, take out of your driveway, turn right, turn left, go down here 3 miles. It can point to the sky and it can tell us the constellations, identify the constellations. Matter of fact, if you want to know exactly where the International Space Station is right now, you can do that with this device. I'm telling you, there will be thousands and thousands of free applications to be able to just download them on this device. Just hold it in your hand, take it with you, and you look at me like, what was I smoking? And yet in 2007, 1 year later, Steve Jobs introduced the first iPhone. And now today, we accept it as truth. This concept of digital currency, yes, it's new. Yes, it's new. But it is becoming accepted in countries around the world. Places where they don't have banks like India. Places in Africa where they don't have banks, but they've got a phone. And now all of a sudden, we can send and receive money. You know, there are people who come here to America, they work hard, and they send money back home to their families. And they got to go through Western Union and MoneyGrams and whatnot, paying 25, 30% fees, ridiculous fees to get money back home to their family. Well, now they can just, from their phone, send it to them, and bingo, 30 seconds or less, they've got it in their hand, in a smartphone. And what can they do with it? In a smartphone, well, unless you've been in a closet, the digital world has moved forward. You can now go to a big box store like a Home Depot or a Walmart or a Target, and you can swipe your phone and pay for your items. Matter of fact, you can play Dick Tracy. You can swipe your watch. This is the world that we're living in. If I can send you digital currency into your watch, and now all of a sudden you can swipe that phone or that watch or your laptop or whatever device and pay for your items, this is the new world. Moving away from the outdated banking industry and moving into the new world. And for those of you who love the concept of building a team, let's look at this aspect. Let's look at this aspect and let's look at some interesting little numbers here. Let's say that you purchase 100 or 200 or 500 or 1,000 or 10,000, whatever it is that you're comfortable with. And, you know, there is no auto ship. You can purchase next week, next year. It's your choice. However, when you start to really understand that the dollar is going down by 7.5% every single year, means if you got $100,000 sitting in the bank, you just lost $7,500 in the last year on your money, whereas digital currency is going up. Where would you rather have your money? Where something is going up or collapsing, devaluing? So people are pulling their money out and they're moving it into digital currency. They're moving it into gold, silver, other commodities, and they're moving it into digital currency. So I'm going to use 100 just because it makes the math really easy, really easy. At 5 cents, because that's where our valuation is right now, That gives us 2,000 coins. And if we go up to a value of $1, we've now got $2,000. Okay, so we got that math. That's really simple. But what if I introduce one person? I get 10% of what they buy. If they do exactly what I did and they buy $100, great. Well, I get $10. Perfect. Now, the company pays us in a 70-30 relationship. So 70% is paid in dollars and 30% goes right back into purchasing coins. Well, that's cool because remember the coin is continually raising in value. So every week that we get a commission, every single week, 30% of that commission is repurchasing more and more coins. We're building our worth, our net worth in this digital currency. And it's your choice. You see, if you need to pay for your groceries or pay for rent, you can take the commission in dollars. You can take that 70%. However, if you don't desperately need it, you can take that 70% and you can convert it also into digital currency. So you're getting 100%. So let's say that we do this with John, who purchased $100. We signed John up. He purchased $100, and we're going to get 30% of that. So that's what? That's $3, 30%. Okay? There's 10% divided into 70-30. $7 we get in cash, and then $3 we get in digital currency. $3 divided by 5 cents is 60 coins. Perfect. If it goes to $1, we get $60. Huh. That's interesting. So now let's look at it this way. That John purchased $100 in digital currency, and maybe a few months down the road, our valuation from his purchase is now 60% of what he purchased. What home-based opportunity could possibly pay us 60%? And that's only if we allowed that 70-30 to exist. But what if instead we did the full deal? We took the full $10, converted the whole thing over to digital currency, and it goes to $1. Well, now guess what? John purchased $100, and we've got $100 from his purchase. We got 100% of what he purchased, but what if it goes to $10? Now, all of a sudden, we have now got what? $600. $600. Okay? That's if we did it at the 30-70. If we did it at the 100%, where we took that full $10 and we purchased the digital currency with the 10 instead of the $3, we'd have 1,000. John purchased 100. A few months later, it goes to $10. We've got $1,000 from his purchase. Go figure. Go figure. This is from one person. Now, let me take the group up, and I'm gonna create a huge group here of 50 people, and that's a joke because myself and many others on this phone, we've had 5, 10,000, 50,000, over 100,000 twice. I've had over 100,000 people in the organization. I'm talking about 50 because I want to make sure that you understand if the little guy is successful, those top leaders are going to be phenomenally successful. 50 people, a group of 50 people. You know, maybe John or Joe or Mary, they have a few people who say, oh, this is great, and they buy 100, 200, 500,000. And a few of them tell a few others, and a few of them, and we end up with a group of 50 people. I don't care if it takes a month or 6 months or a year. They got a group of 50 people. Perfect. Now, all of a sudden, what happens here? Well, they've now got 5,000 digital coins. Okay, 5,000 times $1 is $5,000. 10 is 50,000 times 100, 500,000. What if it goes to $500? That's 2.5 million from a group of 50 people. Okay, 50 people, and that is using the 70-30 aspect. But what if we took 100%, 100% of that group of 50 people? We converted 100% of the commissions. Now all of a sudden, instead of 5,000 coins, we've got 102,000 coins. If it goes to $1, we've got $102,000. If it goes to $10, that's 1 million. If it goes to a $100 valuation, that's 10.2 million in valuation from YOcoins from a group of 50 people. I don't think we could ever do that in the typical home-based industry, but I'm going to take you one step further. Because I see a vision of the future where all of a sudden people really are going to get so discouraged with the banks, so discouraged with losing money, realizing that the dollar is cut in half. Every 10 years we lose 50% of our purchasing power in the dollar because of devaluation. They pull their money out of the bank and they put it completely into this digital currency, and now they're paying their rent, their car, their insurance, their utilities, their food, everything through the digital currency. Let's say the average is $3,000 per month. I know people that their mortgage is more than that. But let's say that the average, everything, that all their miscellaneous expenses, everything, car insurance, everything, $3,000 a month. Times 50 people, that's $150,000. We'll call that group volume because we're used to that in the home-based industry. What's 10% of that? 10% of $150,000 is $15,000 residual a month from 50 people who are now, forget autoship, okay? Last time I checked, you got to pay your rent. Last time I checked, you got to pay for food. You got to pay for your car payment, your phone, your utilities. This goes beyond autoship. This is our survival. This is our overhead of what we pay on a monthly basis. They're making $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and they're paying $3,000 to survive, and we're getting 10% times 50 people, $15,000 per month. That will never happen in the typical home-based industry, because if we had, let's say we were making $1 per person, we'd be making around $600 per month from a group of 50 people, not 15,000. Now, you use this small number because those of you who've really been around this industry a long time know. Start to multiply it up to 500, take it to 1,000, take it to 5,000. Trust me, the numbers go off the charts. Plus, in addition, we have a 10% check match, which gives us an incentive to help John become successful. We have a 10% on the second level, and we have a 15% match on the third level. And there's more to the compensation plan, but I want to stop right there. And I'm going to give you that legal disclaimer, which is so important because we want this opportunity to last forever. And that is that past performance does not necessarily guarantee future results. And let me come back to China. I'm going to end with China. Because right now, yes, we are sitting at 5 cents. This digital currency is 8 months old. It's 5 cents. And what is going on right now is a new digital exchange has opened in China. And some very serious, very successful business folk from China have come across, and they're in the corporate office in Dallas, and they're finalizing negotiations to open this digital currency and kick this thing in the tail in China. Remember, they're doing $600 million per day with Bitcoin that is sitting at over $700 per coin. When all of a sudden they come back into China with a new currency and everything signed, sealed, delivered, and people can purchase at pennies on the dollar, they're going to jump on this. In 2012, China came into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was sitting at $50. By the end of 2013, they drove it up to over $1,200. Could the same thing happen here? Well, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Can you say multimillionaire, not just for you, but for everyone that you open the door? And imagine, if you've been in this industry a long time, every one of us, we've all got lists of people that we have brought into programs, brought into companies. We have done everything we could to help them, and they couldn't make a dime. Well, now we can open that door, and this is our way of saying thank you for following us over the years, because now we can sleep well at night knowing that every single person is going to finally win. Talk to the person who told you about this call. Make sure that they send you the 8-minute video. There's a great video that gives you a full, grounded foundation. Wonderful video to share with other people. Check out the videos on YOcoin.net. And we are here Monday through Thursday nights, Monday and Wednesday nights. These are the 2 nights that we open the door for those who've been around the networking industry for a while. We're talking about people who are well seasoned. Tuesdays and Thursday nights, those are the nights that we invite our friends, family, and neighbors. And we slow it down. We just talk with a completely different energy, and we never talk about compensation or affiliates or any of that. That's your opportunity to invite the friends and family onto the Tuesday and Thursday calls. Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, same place. Just remember that Monday and Wednesday, Monday for money, Wednesday, whatever you want to lock that into it, Monday and Wednesdays, those are the money calls. Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are the friends and families, and we're not going to scare them away with any crazy energy. So only on these Monday, Wednesday calls, I hope tonight that you took something that you can go, oh my gosh, I'm in, and I'm going to kick this thing in the tail. Thank you so much for being here tonight. and we'll talk to you, and we'll gladly open the door for your wonderful friends and family, and of course for your networking compadres on Mondays and Wednesdays nights. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much for opening the call, and we'll see you on the cruise ships of the world.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night, Daniel. Thank you.